Welcome to TD Place in Ottawa, Ontario. Beautiful day for soccer here in the nation's capital as we take a look. Toronto FC coming in to face off against Ottawa Fury FC. Gord Smith alongside myself, Tyler McDonald. Thank you so much for joining us here tonight, this Wednesday night. And Gord, Battle of Ontario as in the USL, TFC2. They're going to be coming in and really looking for one player to shine for them, and that's their leading goal scorer, Malik Johnson.
Yeah, he's going to be playing up top by himself, but it looks like a 4-1-4-1 formation based on what we saw off the team sheet. But you get two teams total opposite here in terms of current form. The Fury coming in, 3 wins, 2 draws in their last 5 games. Unfortunately, Toronto FC 2 coming in with 5 straight losses and giving up a lot of goals in a couple of those games. So that'll be something they'll need to tighten up here this evening if they're to get anything out of an Ottawa Fury team that's really on form right now, Tyler.
You have to think that the tough form has to do with a lot of injuries coming to their main squad and not having a lot of players to fill in those gaps on TFC2 as well. But we'll get into more on that during the broadcast.
Sure.
A player to watch out for here for Ottawa Fury FC is Captain Carl Howarth.
Well, he's had a great couple of games. Yeah. Certainly last game he was all over the field. I think the one thing we like about Carl's game is that he defends back to front as well as attacking back to front as well. He gets back to help out. We've seen him at the corner flag a few times, helping out the fullback Eddie Edward down the right-hand side. But above all else, 3 or 4 woodworks on Saturday, unfortunate for him.
Yeah, 3 posts last game. We'll see if you get one in the net for this one. AJ Jackback, Graham Ivory on the call. When we come back, this is Ottawa Fury FC Soccer.
Did you know the Brick is 100% proudly Canadian? We employ over 5,000 Canadians. And nobody knows more about furnishing Canadian homes at the guaranteed lowest price than us. Saving you more. It's not just a slogan. Saving you more is our obsession.
Gabriel Pizza, proud supporter of local sports. Gabriel Pizza, home of the bigger, better pizza. 310 7777 or GabrielPizza.com.
What do you live for? Is it for your crew? For overcoming obstacles? Live for what you want. So what do you live for?
Hey, Impreza. What's new?
Well, I've got this available reverse automatic braking feature.
Oh.
When I reverse, I can automatically brake if I'm about to hit something.
All I do is beep.
Subaru
Beep.
Impreza.
Beep. Ouch.
Good evening, welcome to TD Place. It's a scorching hot night at TD Place in Ottawa as we get set for this one between Ottawa Fury FC and TFC2. AJ Jakubic, Graham Ivory with you, and let's get right into the starting 11 here as we're close to match time. Starting 11 brought to you by Gabriel Pizza, Ottawa's bigger, better pizza. Gabriel Pizza, 310-7777, and let's have a look at TFC2 first as they line up in a 4-1-4-1. It is Drew Shepard in goal, a back four of Luca Petrasso, Robert Boscovich, Rocco Romeo, and Brandon Onconi, then Luca Uccello, Jordan Faria, Dante Campbell, Matthew Serbel, Gideon Waija, and the lone striker up top, Malik Johnson. 8 Canadian starters for TFC2. 8 Canadian starters for Ottawa Fury FC as well. It's Maxime Crépeau with 5 straight clean sheets in goal. Back four of the Englishman Onwo Obasi, Thomas Mayer-Jaguar, Nana Adekora, and the local product Eddie Edward at right back. It's Kevin Oliveira, Chris Manella, and Jamar Dixon in midfield. Adonai Jareed, Steven DeSantos, and Carl Howarth are up top. So there you have it, the starting 11 for both sides here today. And Graham, for Ottawa, hey, this is the TFC2 side that has struggled to keep balls out of the back of the net. There's an Ottawa team that's struggled to score, even though they're unbeaten in 5, just 6 goals on the season. It really feels like this could be the match where Ottawa can open the floodgates, but they cannot overlook a TFC2 side that historically they only have 1 win against. They haven't played very well against TFC2 in the last 2 years.
I think this is should be categorized as a must-win game because it's a should-win game. And these are games last year that Ottawa struggled with to get over the hurdle, and even when they did beat TFC2, it wasn't in convincing fashion. This is a team, you just have to look at the age of this roster, some of the inexperience. This is a team that Ottawa needs to really go out against and make a statement. And I think with what they've done in the last 5 games, they've made a statement that, okay, anybody who had concerns inside those opening 4 games, perhaps those concerns, I think they should be gone now, but tonight's an opportunity to really show what this team is worth and where we're going to see them go in the USL Eastern Conference.
So we're underway from TD Place. It will be Ottawa moving from left to right on your TV dial and on your radio dial with their black and red kits, black shorts, black socks. And it is TFC2 moving right to left with their all-white away kits as they're in position now, and they get it wide right. Dante Campbell leaves it there and goes into the middle for Serbal to the edge of the penalty area. It's played across the top of the 18 by Faria. And now the cross takes a deflection, and it will be grabbed by Maxime Crépeau. 5 straight clean sheets for Crépeau, who wasn't tested a ton, but had a terrific stop off Raffanella late in that match. The 1-0 win against Bethlehem on Friday night.
Well, and part of the reason why they were able to claim that clean sheet, their 5th in a row, is thanks in large part to Nana Adakora, who had an outstanding debut for Ottawa Fury FC and was also named to the USL Team of the Week for his efforts. And for those who watched or tuned into the match, a remarkable slide tackle inside the 6-yard box to deny a sure goal.
Here's DeSantos now, edge of the penalty area. DeSantos across for Howarth, and just left it when maybe should have kept it. Nonetheless, it is TFC2, and an opportunity goes begging there. Is down on the far side of the pitch. It's on Coney, who's down, and this will be an opportunity for the training staff to get to him. And so while we do that, let's get to our 3 keys to an Ottawa Fury FC victory here tonight.
3 keys to an Ottawa win this evening at TD Place. Key number 1, turn up the volume on offense. The defense is sorted for Ottawa, but they need to turn up the offense on the scoreboard. Key number 2, don't give Toronto an inch. Too often last season, Toronto claimed valuable points against Ottawa Fury FC, and they certainly looked positioned to steal at least a point off the Tampa Bay Rowdies over the weekend, but the Rowdies were able to prevail in that 4-2 victory. And the 3rd key to an Ottawa victory here tonight, make a statement. This is a match that Ottawa needs to show how good they've become, and this is a great side for them to flex their muscles against.
For Ottawa, an opportunity, depending on how matches go here this evening, to potentially be in the playoffs. 11th in the USL East. They are 2 points out of a playoff spot, but the teams that are 9th and 10th both playing tonight as well. Indy facing Charleston, and Nashville is at Pittsburgh. So a win with the right results elsewhere, and Ottawa would be in the top 8, but really it doesn't matter where they are at the end of the night. I think they just want these 3 points. As TFC2 works it across the back 4 on Coney. Romeo now to Boscovich. Sends it forward, but comes to Adakora. He'll play this out of touch on the near side. On the throw, it comes into Faria. Now into the middle, and Serbal couldn't get a good touch on it. And back comes Fury. It's Adonai Jareed. trying to spring Oliveira, who scored that fastest goal in Ottawa Fury FC league history 44 seconds in. The only goal of the match in that 1-0 win over Bethlehem as Ottawa wins the throw just inside the TFC2 half. 5th minute, 0-0.
Well, you have a look at the form of both these sides over their last 5 games, AJ. Ottawa draw, win, win, draw, win. 3 wins, 2 draws over those last 5. 4 goals for, 0 goals against. Compare that to Toronto FC 2, 5 consecutive losses, 8 goals for. So they've been able to find the back of the net. Unfortunately, 14 goals conceded against, and that has been their problem thus far this season. 24 goals conceded through their opening 11 fixtures.
Oliveira fouled, so this will be a free kick for Ottawa. About 35 yards out. Oliveira and Howarth both looking over this one, as Ottawa puts 5 players to the edge of the 18-yard box. And it will be Oliveira delivering. It's low, and it's cleared away right to Uccello. And he'll send it forward on the left side, but it doesn't get there as Edward intercepts. His ball into the penalty area. There's a collision, and there's a foul called against Ottawa as the keeper, Drew Shepard, came out, and he was hit hard by Oliveira, and he's going to need some treatment here in the 6th minute.
Yeah, that looked awful for both players, and just some miscommunication with the goalkeeper and his defender as to who was going to come for it. No one claimed it. So Oliveira makes the run through, and you could see Drew Shepard, the 23-year-old, in a world of pain down on the turf, as is Kevin Oliveira down in the 18-yard box for Ottawa.
So both getting treatment right now. A reminder that Select is the official soccer ball of the USL. For the latest Select products and special offers, please visit SelectSportAmerica.com. You can receive free shipping on orders over $50.
And a clash of heads or clash of faces was more the case between Oliveira and Shepard, and we're hearing that Shepard has sustained a broken nose, and we're certainly likely to see 1, if not 2, substitutions as a result of that clash of heads inside the penalty area.
Backup keeper is Gianluca Catalano, a Canadian under-17 international. And it looks like a cut on the head of Kevin Oliveira. And of course, with Christian Portilla already out due to injury, he played so well and has played so well recently, but certainly in that 1-0 win against Bethlehem, you hope it's nothing too serious for Oliveira. You don't want too many injuries to what is already a slightly depleted midfield.
Well, you see the Fury team doctor also over helping tend to Drew Shepard, who remains down on the edge of the 18-yard box, and after he went down injured, he kind of walked away in pain and dropped outside of his own 18-yard box. Kevin Oliveira has sustained a cut. It looks to be above his left eye.
The good news is he is walking off the pitch right now, so that's good news for Ottawa, as he's got a bandage on his forehead, and we'll see if he's able to continue on. And in the meantime, Shepard still being attended to on the pitch, and they're bringing out the stretcher right now, and that's not good news for the American Drew Shepard. You can get a player's perspective of all the action around USL every Wednesday as the Tampa Bay Rowdies' Jack Blake hosts the Blake Down. That's on the USL YouTube channel. So it looks like we're going to see Catalano come in as a substitute for TFC2, and hopefully Drew Shepard is going to be okay.
Yeah, you never like to see anything like that, and, you know, perhaps you could speak to some inexperience there, because that the goalkeeper has to come out to challenge for that, and I think there was just some miscommunication there between Shepard and his defender, and that allowed kind of the green light for Kevin Oliveira to try and go in and capture that loose ball. We then saw the clash of heads, and unfortunately Shepard sustaining the worst of the two players. Gianluca Catalano, the 17-year-old Canadian, will be coming in place of Drew Shepard.
So with Gianluca Catalano set to check in for the injured Drew Shepard, let's head down to pitch side and let's hear from our reporter Tyler McDonald.
Thanks, AJ, and just such a scary incident happening here on the pitch, and you could hear it from where I'm standing by the fourth official's desk. The collision of heads right in front, and right away goalie Drew Shepard grabbed his nose, mouth area, knowing something was wrong, and you really tell something serious is happening. Kevin Oliveira is just to my right now getting some treatment on the Ottawa Fury bench, and as he was coming off, his side of his face was the same color as the red on his jersey. He's got a massive goose egg on his eye. I'm sure visibility might be an issue for Oliveira. We'll have to see how that progresses throughout the match, and I think he's going to be coming off because he's going to need stitches as he walks right in front of me. There's about 3 or 4 stitches I would have to think for Kevin Oliveira, so best of wishes to both these players on a speedy recovery.
Yeah, Oliveira walking into the tunnel right now, and you don't want to take any chances with that. Just get healthy. It's not so much the cut that you're worried about. When you got a big goose egg on your head, that's the bigger concern. And so both teams will make substitutions here, and we'll see who will come on for Ottawa Fury.
Well, you're bang on there, AJ, and when, you know, with so much of what we've seen in professional sports with head injuries, it's certainly not something you want to take a risk on, and still tending to Shepard, who remains down. The stretcher is out, but and just earlier, Maxime Crépeau, the Fury goalkeeper, went over and gave him a pat on the shoulder of support.
Looks like Gabriel Balbinani is going to be the one that's coming on because he's getting the instructions right now from the manager, Nikola Popovich. Let's head down for another update with Tyler McDonald.
Just one more thing, guys. As I was finishing up that hit, Kevin Oliveira walked in front of me and turned around and said, "Don't worry, I'll be back." So we maybe see Kevin Oliveira come back, but you would have to think he would at least need some glue to cut or to make sure that cut stays together for the rest of this game if he does come back, of course. But all the concern has to go to Drew Shepard. Back to you guys.
Yeah, 13th minute, 0-0, and Shepard still being attended to before they put him on the stretcher. So we're going to have a lot of stoppage time here in the first half, but first and foremost, you just hope that Drew Shepard's going to be okay. Reminder that the USL's official Twitter feed keeps you up to date with news, live game updates, and highlights from around the league. That's 24/7. You can follow at USL on Twitter.
Having a look at the other scores around the USL this evening, 0-0 through 12 minutes in Indianapolis between the 11 and the Charleston Battery. 0-0 through 11 minutes as the Pittsburgh Riverhounds are hosting Nashville SC. Later tonight, it's St. Louis FC home to Didier Drogba and Phoenix Rising.
So let's have a look at the complete USL East table while they get set to put Drew Shepard on this stretcher. He is sitting up right now. Louisville leads the way, the defending league champs, 22 points, 2 up on Cincinnati, and congratulations to FC Cincinnati making the move up along with Nashville, but they're going up next season to MLS as the league announced that they are going to 26, eventually to 28. So Sacramento, Detroit will have to wait for now. Phoenix and San Diego also lead candidates for the next 2 franchises. The league says they will stop at 28, but hey, if you've got more clubs that want in, why would you turn that down?
And not just that, but if you got more clubs that want to spend franchise fees in excess of $100 million, you're not going to stop.
So Cincinnati second, 2 back of Louisville. Then Charleston third with 19. They're 3 back. Pittsburgh on 18. Charlotte and New York Red Bulls 2 on 17. Tampa Bay 16. And then Bethlehem in the last playoff spot, 14 points, tied with Indy, who are in action tonight. Again, 0-0, as you mentioned, Graham, against Charleston Battery. Nashville on 13 points, 1 out of a playoff spot in Pittsburgh tonight, also 0-0. And Ottawa sits 2 out of a playoff spot on 12 points. Behind them, North Carolina FC and Penn FC with 11 each. Richmond with 10 points. Atlanta 2 with 9 points. And TFC 2 at the bottom, just 2 points. Still looking for their first win of the season, as we looks like we've got a replay for our TV viewers as Shepherd is onto the stretcher now. And oh, that's an ugly face-on-face contact. Boy, they you feel for both players, and hopefully, again, both are going to be okay, as Oliveira in the dressing room being stitched up and Shepherd being carted off right now. So one substitution for sure right now is the backup keeper forced to come in. That's Gianluca Catalano for TFC2, and we'll await to see the status of Ottawa's midfield dynamo, Kevin Oliveira, the Cape Verde international, former Sporting KC player. And this will be a penalty here for Ottawa, so that's one thing we missed out of all that is a penalty. And Steven DeSantos will step up for Ottawa Fury FC here in the 16th minute against Catalano to try and put Ottawa in the lead. And he puts it home, top corner left side. Steven DeSantos in the 16th minute, and Ottawa Fury FC has the 1-0 lead.
Well, what a tough thing for Gianluca Catalano to have to face coming right off the bench, and the first thing you have to do is attempt to stop a Steven DeSantos penalty. He's a clinical finisher in the USL, and he nets his second goal of the season as he calmly steps up. And the Cape Verde international goes top left to open the scoring here in the 16th minute. 1-0 Ottawa.
Well, the clash of heads was so brutal that didn't get a chance
but
to
there
see.
wasn't an initial indication from the official. I think that was some conversation after the fact of, okay, how does this play out right here?
So DeSantos converts with the penalty. Referee today is David Barry. The assistants Marianne Gagnon-Chrétien, Sean Hornsby. Carol-Anne Chenard is the fourth official. So with Oliveira still in the locker room, it's 11v10 for the moment for TFC2. And we'll see if they can take advantage of the numerical advantage here for a brief time being, as Malik Johnson, the Canadian under-20 international, just had that go heavy off his boot and out of touch. It will be a goal kick for Fury in the 18th minute, leading 1-0.
And with Shepherd exiting the game and Catalano coming in, now 9 Canadians on the pitch for TFC 2, 8 for Ottawa, 17 in total, and you have to like how that looks.
Yeah, it's been a long time coming, but long overdue, and great to see the commitment from an Ottawa perspective from Julian de Guzman and Nikola Popovic as the foul goes here against Ottawa's Adonijah Reed deep in the TFC 2 half. And certainly helps when you've got the agreement with Montreal to be able to call upon Canadian players there as well. Some key Canadian players on the roster from Montreal. Probably none more notable than the man with 5 consecutive clean sheets and Canadian international keeper Maxime Crépeau.
Well, he certainly brought a sense of calm to the position, and that's certainly nothing on Callum Irving, who was in to start, I believe, the first 4 games of the season. But, you know, it's just they've sorted things out defensively, and you know what, full credit to Maxime Crépeau, because when this streak kind of began, you look back to that 0-0 game, the school day game against New York Red Bulls too, and the outstanding goalkeeping in that match from Maxime Crépeau, who really ensured that Ottawa was able to claim a point in that game. And of course, that was a match where they lost Obasi to injury in the 30th minute. Then they lost Chris Manila at the hour mark due to a red card, and he picked up a suspension. So inserted back into the lineup tonight with that suspension well clear now in that position for the injured Christian Portilla.
Adonijah Reed draws the foul, so a free kick for Ottawa as it's launched into the TFC2 half. Here's Carl Howarth. Snake bit with the 3-post. I think the coach disputes that. I think he thought it was 4. I'm still going with 3, Graham. It's all good. He still forgot more about soccer than I'll ever know, but I still only saw 3 posts. One went off the top of the crossbar, so maybe that one counts. You gonna answer me, or are you just gonna sit there like a mute?
I'll let you play your game.
I'm just wondering your opinion. Was it 3 or was it 4? You're the tiebreaker.
We talked about this. It was 3.
Here's Howarth now. Good run inside the penalty area with the cross, and it's headed clear by Rocco Romeo. One of the great footballing names here in Canada. DeSantos has it go over his head. And it's sent into the Fury half. Good work defensively. Getting back there was Chris Benella, getting the start with Christian Portilla injured, and certainly making his presence felt there. Obasi with the throw, 22nd minute, 1-0 Fury, but we're going to have a whole whackload of stoppage time to be played here in this first half. Headed back into the Ottawa half. And here's Jamar Dixon. Dixon has Howarth on the right. Lays it off. Good ball. Here's Howarth. 10 yards out. Trying to cut inside, but 2 white shirts in the way, and TFC2 gains possession.
Well, those are the kind of efforts that you need, and I know that it proved unsuccessful there for Carl Howarth on that particular play, but you need to have players that have the confidence to take players on 1v1 in those positions, and you have to respect the effort from the Fury captain there.
TFC2 center circle. Inside the Ottawa half, it's Serbal. Plays this into the middle. The ball for Uccello goes out of touch. Shepherded there. Good work by Obasi, and it will be an Ottawa goal kick. If you're looking for exclusive video content and photography from across the USL, make sure to follow the league's official Instagram account. That's at USL Soccer. Goal kick here, sent inside the TFC2 half. Flicked on by DeSantos, and this will go out for an Ottawa throw. Adonijah Reed will leave it for Obasi.
Well, and Fury FC have to be happy about the position that they find themselves in here through 24 minutes. Able to get that early lead on Friday night, 44 seconds into that match, and carry that 1-0 lead into a 1-0 victory. And DeSantos' 16-minute conversion on the penalty kick puts Ottawa back in the driver's seat, but certainly not a team that you can turn off against, as the Tampa Bay Rowdies can attest to from that match over the weekend, that they had to battle hard to claim that 4-2 victory.
On Coney. Gets this ahead for Waija. Already capped by Ghana. As it's sent forward, and again, Manella gets stuck in. Now he wins the header. Doesn't go beyond Serble though, and TFC2 back in possession, halfway line. They get this out wide on the left. And whether it was a shot or a cross from Faria, it wasn't close to being either, and it goes out for a goal kick. Or that's Petrasso, sorry, Luca Petrasso on the left side. So goal kick Ottawa here in the 25th minute, 1-0. Ottawa Fury leading on a 16th minute penalty from Steven DeSantos. Header flicked on by Obasi. Running onto it, or attempting to, is Howarth, but it's knocked away. Wyja plays it forward. And it comes back to the keeper, Crépeau, who launches this beyond the halfway line. Chested down here by Adonijah Reed. Sent out a touch for an Ottawa throw.
It's been almost 10 minutes that Ottawa's been playing with 10 men as we still await to see the status of Kevin Oliveira, and we'll head down to the sidelines and get an update from Tyler McDonald. Tyler?
Thanks, guys. It's just still getting some word here, waiting for Kevin Oliveira to come out from the dressing room. They've seen some treatment still. They haven't made a sub yet, so they're trying to hope to see if Kevin comes back. An update on Drew Shepherd. He has been transferred and is being transferred to hospital to get further evaluations. So, of course, our thoughts to a speed recovery for Drew Shepherd. We'll get more on Oliveira in a few seconds, guys.
TFC2 in possession here as it's sent wide on the right. Dante Campbell with a cross. Good ball, and it's headed away by Mayer Jaguar. Here's Petrasso now. Wyja, his ball. Grabbed just outside the 6-yard box. Coming off his line was Crépeau, and Fury avoid any danger there. 27th minute, leading 1-0. Balbinati is going to come on, so that is it for Kevin Oliveira. And rather be safe than sorry on that one. No need to rush Kevin Oliveira back. Gabriel Balbinati will come on for Ottawa Fury momentarily, as this will be another goal kick here for Ottawa.
You have to like that decision, and even if you can close the gash on his head, I'm not even sure if that's the major issue. There's certainly for rules of the game getting back on, but I think what's more important is the long-term health of Kevin Oliveira. And I know he said to Tyler McDonald when he was going into the locker room to be checked out that he'd be coming back, but you like the fighting spirit, but better safe than sorry in this case.
Steven DeSantos, Onwo Obasi, Gideon Wyja, Brandon Onconi. Those are the only non-Canadians on the pitch right now. It's 9 apiece. As Fury in possession, Howarth takes it from Adonijah Reed. Dixon trying to get it out wide for DeSantos on the left. Dixon on the follow-up wins the header, but it's knocked away and back into the Ottawa half. Eddie Edward will just play it back to the keeper, Crépeau.
Well, and I'm sure that'll be a statistic that...
Oh, offside flag is down. As it comes here, it's Balbinati, first touch, and he just stepped over it. Now it comes back to Howarth with the cross, trying to pick out DeSantos. He got his head to it, but played it across the face of goal. And there is a TFC2 player down inside the 6-yard box, but he is able to get up, and no worse for wear. That was on Coney. 29th minute, 1-0 Fury as DeSantos looking for his second of the match, already scoring from the spot, and that one created out wide by Carl Howarth in the cross.
Yeah, good delivery from the Fury captain, but DeSantos just a bit too deep inside the 6-yard box. Needed to be just a yard outside and would have been able to more easily redirect that on target.
On Coney. Now to Wyja. Plays it ahead on the left, but Too far for Petrasso. This goes out for an Ottawa throw. .30 degrees the temperature right now at TD Place, so it is a hot one, and that's something to keep in mind as this match progresses, is just how it will affect the players playing in this sweltering heat as TFC2 gets this wide on the right. Dante Campbell, his ball goes off of Obasi, and this will be a TFC2 corner from the far corner flag. Petrasso will line it up and deliver a left-footed in-swinger. 4 players at the top of the 18, 1 inside the 6-yard box for TFC2. As Petrasso steps up and delivers the cross, it's headed away. Jamar Dixon got his head to that, and TFC2 back in possession inside the Ottawa half. Petrasso. Quick little 1-2 down the right side of the pitch. Mayor Jaguar right on him, though, and he's able to win the throw for Ottawa.
Well, and he's looked very comfortable in that role since coming into it, really when this unbeaten run began for Ottawa. Coming in for the injured Onoa Obasi in that left back role, has moved into the left center back role. Colin Falvey getting some rest during this homestand. Likely see him back on Saturday. Nan Adekora now healthy and into his role that he was expected to be in when he was signed, and Daniil Henry has been returned from that loan from the Vancouver Whitecaps. But credit to Daniil Henry, as you talk to anybody within the club, and they've really credited Mayer Giguère's development and how he's calmed down under Daniil Henry.
Here's Adonijah Reed now making a run for Ottawa. Gets this wide on the right, just a little too far for Howarth, but he will keep it in near touchline. Now cuts inside his man. Looks to get a cross in, but plays it back to Eddie Edward instead. Now Dixon just inside the Ottawa half. Nana Adekora. Cross for his partner in central defense, Mayer Giguère. Ball over the top. Flag is up, so Adonijah Reed just mistimed that run a little bit. 32nd minute here at TD Place. 1-0 Ottawa Fury, and a goal from Steven DeSantos. 16th minute goal from the spot. TFC2 work it up from the back on Coney. Campbell on Coney. It's played back by Uccello. Malik Johnson moves it wide left. Gets it back. Now Wija. Romeo on Coney. In the middle. Going down is Uccello. He wins the free kick against Obasi. This one from about 30 yards out. Far touchline. Uccello will step up and deliver this. From the right-hand side, 5 players just inside the 18-yard box for TFC2. Here's the delivery towards the back post, and that is covered and grabbed by Maxime Crépeau. As it's launched forward, and clearly Howarth was offside. He knew it. I tell you, they've got those Lemon Heaven ads up right now on the the side scoreboard.
You thirsty?
Just seeing those ads makes me thirsty in this 30-degree heat. We could use a couple of those up in the booth.
Dude, you had your pregame popsicle. Calm down.
I'm just saying, lemon heaven. I mean, is there anything more heavenly than lemon heaven? Hopefully someone's listening down there.
One can hope, AJ.
35th minute, 1-0 Ottawa Fury. It's TFC2 with a throw from the near touchline. And they'll do it again. Oliveira is back on the bench, so that's good news for Ottawa Fury, but he'll watch the rest of the proceedings this evening after that clash of heads that also sent TFC2 keeper Drew Shepard to hospital with what looked like maybe a broken nose. Launched over the head of DeSantos by Crépeau, and it goes all the way back to the backup keeper, Catalano, whose first order of business today was to try and stop a 16th minute penalty from Steven DeSantos as a result of that collision, and unable to do so. Certainly had no chance. Perfectly taken penalty from DeSantos. And Fury consequently in the lead 1-0 here in the 36th minute as TFC2 working across the back. Ball intercepted by Manella. As DeSantos gets it back to Mayer Jaguar. His ball chested down by Campbell. It comes to Onconi. Now to Wyja. Moves this wide to the left. This is Boscovich looking to pick up Uccello, and too far for him. Good run from Uccello. And it's Crépeau again in good position to gather it for Fury. Header won by Adonijah Reed. Inside the TFC2 half. DeSantos gets it back to Reed as he gets up off the turf. It comes to Obasi. Fake to play it back, but he wins a foul instead. Just inside the TFC2 half. There's the just so smooth. If you watched him for the first time, you'd say, okay, there's a big defender, and he's not going to, oh, wow, he can do that. It's just tremendously skilled for a big man on the ball.
Well, those are his futsal skills shining through, and that's where he began. The sport was through futsal and then turned into professional soccer player.
Obasi wins the throw, gets it in for DeSantos. Looking for room outside the penalty area, gets it back to Balbinati. Now it comes to Thomas Mayer Jaguar. Now to Adacora, all the way back to Crépeau. Launches it beyond the halfway line. Balbinati with the header, but no one running onto that second ball. And TFC2 in possession in front of their own keeper.
Well, Reed was in an offside position, so he was trying to get back onside. And DeSantos had pulled himself level with Balbinati, so no one was able to make that run on what would have been a great through ball on that redirected header by Balbinati.
Dante Campbell couldn't keep it in play. And here's a ball forward, and the flag is up against Carl Howarth. That ball from Manella. Fury in the midst of 3 consecutive home matches with Charlotte, the visitor, on Saturday night. It's a busy week at TD Place, with 3 matches in 4 days, and good on the grounds crew. That's always been an issue. Is this going to be?
No way, no way.
Well, they're calling a goal kick here.
Way wrong on that one. I'm sorry, and that should have been obvious. Wow. It should have been a corner.
Yeah, it looked like, certainly from this vantage point, it went off a white shirt last, but.
It was very clear. Connie got goal side of Howarth, but the ball connected off of his chest or shoulder and ended up going out for what was awarded as a goal kick, but there's no contact there at all from Carl Howarth.
40th minute, 1-0 Fury. And again, as I was about to mention, credit goes to the grounds crew, and just never an easy job as TFC2 getting almost in behind the Ottawa defense. Edward hustling back, the cross headed away by Obasi as it comes right to Serbal, 20 yards out. Manella right in his face. Mayor Jaguar mishit it, and Obasi will send this out for a TFC2 throw right on 40 minutes, 1-0 Fury. But with a football game here tomorrow, the lines will be painted after this match today, so a lot of credit.
Yeah, the pitch looks absolutely fantastic tonight.
Yeah, and then it'll be back to no lines on Saturday once again for that Charlotte game after the Red Blacks take on the Alouettes tomorrow night at TD Place.
Are you going to need some rest because you've gone broadcast Friday, Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday?
I'll be fine,
All
trust
right.
me.
Okay.
Good hustle there by Adonai Jareed as he gets a touch on it. It is a TFC2 throw.
Is it from like wetting your whistle on all those European beers for 5 weeks? Is that kind of how it?
I was well behaved.
Yeah. There's an asterisk beside that statement.
Does it look like I came back 30 pounds heavier with all the food that I had? Here's a run by Serbal, 25 yards out, and this is going to be a foul against Jamar Dixon. And so TFC2 from a dangerous spot right of center, and an opportunity with a set piece from a dangerous spot. Fans and Ottawa thinking that Serbal went down a little bit easy. So again, 30 yards out, but this one a little further to the middle, but still almost parallel to the right side of the line of the penalty area. Here's the delivery from Uccello, headed away. Obasi wins that header, and it's cleared up to the halfway line. Balbinati making a run. It's headed forward. Is the flag going to stand? No, it does not. Howarth would have been clear, but the flag is up offside on Carl Howarth.
Well, and you have to wonder if he had checked his shoulder, could he have let DeSantos or Balbinati make that run for him, because they certainly would have been onside.
Quite a few. How many? Is that 6 offsides here in the first half? It's quite a few against Ottawa.
I will tell you in a moment, sir. But you're definitely right. But you know what? We talked about this at the start of the year, how there was kind of a concern of, they were playing against teams that were putting goals in the back of the net and still going offside 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 times in a game, and Ottawa was nil.
Sent in for DeSantos. Goes off him last, and this will be a TFC2 throw. And again, 44th minute, it's 1-0 Ottawa, but we're going to have quite a large amount of stoppage time to end this first half because of that clash of heads that sent both Kevin Oliveira and Drew Shepard out of this match early.
Well, you describe the offsides probably as well as you do describe yourself catching a fish and how big it was, because it's only been 3, even though you think it was 7, but it's been 3.
There's only been 3?
I'm looking at the stats right now. That's the best I can tell you.
Are they behind? All right, let's go down to a sideline update. Here's Tyler McDonald.
Thank you very much, AJ, and just some word from head coach Laurent Guillot on the TFC2 side of things, looking for his players in the midfield to fill those gaps as they're trying to build the ball up the field. They finds that his team isn't being as aggressive in terms of getting to the open space for his teammates to make a good clean pass. Also hearing about 10 minutes of added time that will be added to the first half. Back to you guys.
Yeah, that's basically what I expected, 9 or 10. It's Fury back in possession here, center circle, it's Obasi. On the ball, looking to get it left, plays it back to Mayer Jaguar. Ahead towards Howarth. This will be an Ottawa throw near touchline. In for Dixon, 35 yards out. Plays it back to Adekora. And all the way to Crépeau. It is 10 minutes, a minimum of 10 minutes of stoppage time here to be played.
I'm once again Nikola Popovic incensed, and for good reason. I don't know how that was not a foul against TFC on that challenge against Ottawa Obasi.
So TFC2 in possession. I'm not calling him TFC, Graham.
Great challenge by Mayer Jaguar.
As Mayer Jaguar prevents this opportunity and it goes out for a corner. Watching it go there was Uccello.
To make you feel better, we're probably about 60 seconds behind the live updates on the stats. It's 4 offside, so just to bring you a bit closer to your analysis.
Still think there's been at least 5.
Thought it was 7 at one point.
Far touchline, left-footed in-swinger coming from Petrasso on this corner. And Petrasso will have to wait here for the referee to direct traffic inside this 18-yard box for Ottawa. Here is the delivery from Petrasso. And it's punched out. Good work by Crépeau. TFC2 in possession just inside the Ottawa half. Petrasso again. Gets this in for Dante Campbell. Getting stuck in is Manella, but it comes back to Uccello with the cross. And it goes out off of TFC2 last. And went off Malik Johnson. And it will be a goal kick for Ottawa Fury.
Good ball whipped in there by Luca Uccello, the TFC2 captain. But once again, even though TFC has had some opportunities on some corners, some set pieces around the 18-yard box, nothing yet to trouble Maxime Crépeau other than coming out to close down these crosses.
Adonijah Reed troubling them here as Balbonati trying to send it across for Howarth, but it's headed clear by Boscovich. And TFC2 will look to counter. We still have about 7 minutes of stoppage time to go here in the first half. Faria. Moves this back, Wyja. Serbal. Now to Onconi. Wide right for Campbell. Now Serbal for Campbell, making a run to the touchline, and that, the byline rather, and that goes off TFC2 last, and once again it'll be a goal kick.
Great work by Chris Manila to come across there and really shoulder his man out and not give any opportunity for TFC to earn a scoring chance in that position.
Goal kick, Maxime Crépeau.
During our halftime interview, we'll hear from Tyler McDonald, but we'll also be joined by Fury FC supporter Stuart McTaggart and talking Fury supporters culture. Don't forget, following to today's match, we'll have our Fury FC post-match show on Facebook Live. We'll hear from Ottawa Fury FC head coach Nikola Popovic, our man of the match, Go through stats, highlights, and more.
If it's anything like the last post-match show, you won't want to miss it.
Yeah, that I think that shocked everybody, at least the response to the first question.
Certainly love the passion, and I think Nikola Popovic is going to do a heck of a job for this Fury team, and certainly has the pedigree to back that up as TFC2 in possession, edge of the penalty area. Ball almost chipped over the keeper. Crépeau looked like he had it covered, but looked like it was a cross, and that ball from Petrasso didn't miss by too much.
Well, and it's hard to tell because you don't see any sunlight kind of cascading across the pitch, but certainly it's hitting us from our vantage point up in the press box. But you have to think that Crépeau might just have been battling a bit of the sunlight, trying to find that one as well.
Still have about 5 minutes of stoppage time left here in the first half as DeSantos closing down on Coney and goes off him for a TFC2 throw. Now Serble. Oh, good work by Adonijah Reed. Reed about 40 yards out. Making a run to the middle, and he's fouled here. And they're not calling it. Wow, 25 yards out, and that looked like a clear foul against Toronto FC2, and David Barry says play on, and I don't think the fans are out to lunch and giving it to Mr. Barry.
No, that was yet another missed call here in this first half against Ottawa.
And here's Obasi with a run, gets this wide left. Steven DeSantos, the Ottawa goal scorer, slows it down, gets it back to Obasi. Fancy footwork, beats the first defender. Obasi making a run, and he's brought down, and this is going to be a free kick right at the edge of the 18-yard box, right on the corner. I think Ottawa pleading that he was inside and looking for another penalty. Clearly, Adonijah Reed was fouled when they show the replay on that one. And yeah, it was outside the box. Barry got the second one right, but the first one looked more harsh of a foul than the second one did.
Yeah, it certainly did.
Either way, they do get their free kick here, and it will be Carl Howarth and Gabriel Balbinati looking over this one from the left side. I thought it was a couple yards closer.
Almost
the penalty area.
On the edge as opposed to where it's set up.
It's about 4 yards out. Here's the delivery from Howarth towards the back post, headed towards goal, but that is stopped as some great work hustling back, but here's a run from TFC2, and Ottawa from Adekora able to send this out for a corner, so both teams getting some opportunities here in first half stoppage time. Still 3 minutes left, or a couple minutes left now of stoppage time here in the first half. So far, corner flag, it's Uccello. Right-footed in-swinger. With the delivery and headed clear, Steven DeSantos. Comes back to Crépeau and he grabs it.
Update on the out-of-town scoreboard. It's halftime in Indianapolis with Indy 11 leading the Charleston Battery by 1-0 score. Score still remains 0-0 at the half in Pittsburgh between the Riverhounds and Nashville. And in about half hour's time, St. Louis underway against Phoenix Rising.
So if everything stays as is, Ottawa would sit ninth at the end of the night as Reed offside for Ottawa after chesting that ball down just inside the TFC2 half. There's another offside for you, Graham, if you're keeping track.
Now you've got your 5.
Or 6.
Maybe it's foreshadowing. Maybe it'll end with 7 tonight. AJ's crystal ball.
TFC2 on the ball. It's Dante Campbell. on Coney.
It's gotten a bit chippier this game in the last 7-8 minutes.
Another minute or so of stoppage time. As Ottawa sends it out for a TFC2 throw. Comes in the middle, Malik Johnson. Flag is up against Campbell. Might have been called for a foul anyways against Adonai Jareed, so shouldn't be much time left here in this first half. And we'll hear from the manager shortly, Nikola Popovich.
I think you'll be happy with how this game started, but you know, really since that goal, we haven't seen a true dangerous opportunity from Ottawa. Lots of possession, lots of good opportunity, but they're certainly going to want to find that second goal early in that second half so they can put this one to bed.
All right, let's head down and we'll hear now from Nikola Popovich.
Hey, Coach. So this was a very eventful first half of the game. How do you keep your team focused going into the second half?
No, we have to keep working. It was a little bit strange the first half with the injury of Kevin. We didn't know if he was going to be okay at time to steam contribute in this first half, but we made the sub. Now we have to keep going.
And what are you hoping to see more of on the field during the rest of the game?
I hope to see much more chances for us.
Excellent. Well, best of luck.
It's Nikola Popovich from the touchline. Wants to see some more chances.
Well,
hey, short and sweet, and bottom line is Ottawa's up 1-0 on a goal from Steven DeSantos, and they're the ones in control. It's TFC2 that is going to have to push it forward, but I think for Ottawa's sake, we talked about this earlier. Hey, it doesn't matter if it's 1-0 or 8-0 tonight. For Ottawa, you just want 3 points, but boy, you'd love to see the floodgates open a little bit, just to see that confidence build offensively and everyone think, okay, you know what, now we don't have to squeak through every match.
No, they definitely need to take the game to TFC2. They're the ones who are going to have to claw their way back. They might have to open up the longer the scoreline stays at 1-0. But the other thing that we didn't really mention just going into half is that Ottawa played with 10 men for about 12-minute run after Steven DeSantos made it 1-0. So they'll be even for what we hope for the duration of this match. But they need to take this game to TFC2 and have this game finish well in command in their favor.
Yeah, and in the heat, that certainly with 30-degree heat, that makes it that much more difficult as well. Again, the halftime score, it's Ottawa Fury FC 1 and TFC 2-0. Coming up, the halftime show, Tyler McDonald and Gordon Smith will have it for you. This is Ottawa Fury FC Soccer.
Did you know the Brick is 100% proudly Canadian? We employ over 5,000 Canadians, and nobody knows more about furnishing Canadian homes at the guaranteed lowest price than us. Saving you more. It's not just a slogan. Saving you more is our obsession.
Hey, Impreza. What's new?
Well, I've got this available reverse automatic braking feature.
Oh.
When I reverse, I can automatically brake if I'm about to hit something.
All I do is beep.
Subaru
Beep.
Impreza.
Beep. Ouch.
Gabriel Pizza, proud supporter of local sports. Gabriel Pizza, home of the bigger, better pizza. 310-7777 or GabrielPizza.com.
What do you live for? Is it for your crew? For overcoming obstacles? Live for what you want. So what do you live for?
Welcome back to TD Place here after 45 minutes of play here at the end of the first half. Ottawa Fury FC lead 1-0 as off a Steven Dos Santos penalty in the 16th minute after the unfortunate injury and what happened there in the TFC end. Now in our halftime show, we'd like to take a look at some of the skills going around in the USL, and we're going to take a look at our Week 11 goals of the week.
The wall in the middle of the goal, Tommy. You got to really pick his side.
Lancaster hits it quick and beats Evan Newton. FC Cincinnati caught off guard defensively.
Everything. He really knows how to combine well with others. We saw him a few weeks ago with Fresno.
Oh, this is dangerous opportunity here. Strike, and we are equal. Lopez deals one. It's 1-1.
Another opportunity. There's Fernandez is blocked. Another strike, and it's a goal! A second for Tampa Bay.
Now it is Equal having a hard time bringing the ball with them. Now it plays it over the far side for Saeed Robinson. Referee plays the advantage. Robinson scores! Saeed Robinson with top shelf in the switchback.
Gallops forward. Cato a little burst of speed. Cato, he has a go and puts Richmond to the sword.
Well, every week we get to showcase the goals and skills around the USL. Lots of talent here flourishing in the United Soccer League. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll have a halftime show with Stuart McTaggart. You're watching. This is Ottawa Fury FC Soccer.
Hey, Predator. What's new?
Well, I've got this available reverse automatic braking feature.
Oh.
When I reverse, I can automatically brake if I'm about to hit something.
All I do is beep.
Subaru
Beep.
Impreza.
Beep. Ouch.
What do you live for? Is it for your crew? For overcoming obstacles? Live for what you want. So what do you live for?
Did you know the Brick is 100% proudly Canadian? We employ over 5,000 Canadians, and nobody knows more about furnishing Canadian homes at the guaranteed lowest price than us. Saving you more. It's not just a slogan. Saving you more is our obsession.
Gabriel Pizza, proud supporter of local sports. Gabriel Pizza, home of the bigger, better pizza. 310-7777 or GabrielPizza.com.
Welcome back inside TD Place through 45 minutes. Ottawa Fury FC leading Toronto FC 2 by a 1-0 score thanks to that 16-minute conversion on the penalty kick from Steven Dos Santos. And during our halftime here, we're going to be talking about the lifeblood of fan culture here with Ottawa Fury FC, and that's the supporters. And joining us now is one of the longest serving supporters in Ottawa Fury history. And I say Ottawa Fury because it was before the FC was added. We're talking back to the PDL and W League days. Stuart McTaggart, thanks for joining us this evening. And so you've been involved for so long, before kind of pro soccer was a thing here in the nation's capital. Talk to the audience about how it's evolved and just kind of your journey through this experience.
Yeah, I definitely think it's evolved quite a bit since the club has become professional, and you've just seen so many more people getting involved. Every weekend you see new people coming in, and it's just the chants that have become unique to this club, and the flags that you can see flying behind the supporter section have become very unique for this club, and it builds every year. And now with what's going on here in the last couple games, it's definitely felt the vibe building up.
So if you can let us know the actual names of the two main supporters clubs and expand on how they can actually, if someone was looking in here and they want to get involved in either of the supporters clubs, what's the best way for them to do it, whether it's either of them that you're going to mention here right now?
Absolutely. So there's two supporters groups. There's the Bytown Boys Supporters Club and Stony Monday Riot. You can find both of them on Facebook, on Twitter. They're very active. They both have websites as well, and you can buy tickets off them for $15, both outside the supporter section before the game or online.
You've been someone who you're a fan of the world's game. You've seen professional games all over the place, but you've also traveled to see Fury FC on the road. So 2 parts here. Can you talk about your experience, going away to watch the team and what those supporters environments on the road have been like that you've seen for those other clubs, and also what the supporters groups here in Ottawa do when the team's on the road so they can still follow along and support their team away from home?
So yeah, I've been to quite a few games. I've been to Vancouver on my own, but I've also gone on quite a few trips with supporters, and it's amazing to see the Bytown Boys used to have a big banner that they'd use that said Bytown Boys on tour. There's some unique chants they try and make up for the opponents when we're going there, and it's usually just trying to taunt the keeper, much like it is here. But it's fun when you're the away support because you get to kind of push some buttons and you're new in town and people don't really know who you are or what you're about, so you get to show that to everyone in town.
And when the team's on the road?
When the team's on the road, they love having the support there, and we've had quite a few times they'll come over at the end of the match and say thank you for the support, and they seem to respond to even just a few people in the crowd cheering them on.
All right, Stuart, thanks very much for joining us this evening. You can head over to Twitter and Facebook, Stony Monday Riot, Bytown Boys. Check out all the great things that they do in support of Ottawa Fury FC. Time for a break. Our halftime will continue next. 1-0, Ottawa leads Toronto. Back with more. This is Ottawa Fury FC.
Gabriel Pizza, proud supporter of local sports. Gabriel Pizza, home of the bigger, better pizza. 310-7777 or GabrielPizza.com.
Did you know the Brick is 100% proudly Canadian? We employ over 5,000 Canadians, and nobody knows more about furnishing Canadian homes at the guaranteed lowest price than us. Saving you more. It's not just a slogan. Saving you more is our obsession.
What do you live for? Is it for your crew? For overcoming obstacles? Live for what you want. So what do you live for?
And welcome back inside TD Place. AJ Jakubek alongside Graham Ivory. Halftime score, it is Ottawa Fury FC 1, Toronto FC 2-0. All right.
You always have fun with that, don't you?
You know what? I don't like the. It's not about me here, Graham. It's not about me. How about that? All right. Let's get into what we need to see in the second half from Ottawa Fury. We know they're going to have 11 to start this second half, and I think probably for both teams that early collision probably jarring to both teams with both Kevin Oliveira and the keeper Shepard for TFC2 going off.
Yeah, no question. You never like to see your players injured like that, and it's a tough thing to see. And for Ottawa, I think it affects them more than it does for Toronto FC2, just because of what Kevin Oliveira brings to that Fury FC midfield. He's so dynamic, so much pace, and you can see there the collision between Oliveira and Shepard, and that, while we certainly wish speedy recovery to both players, that results in the Steven DeSantos penalty, scores the opener for Ottawa from the spot in the 16th minute, and really that was the lone really dangerous opportunity. We saw DeSantos with another header there on a delivery from Carl Howarth, but the ball was kind of in behind him, so it goes back across the face of goal. And for Maxime Crépeau, not really tested with shot, but lots of crosses in that 6-yard box area from set pieces and corners, and he had to be very sharp to be well positioned to either catch them or parry them away. So another strong first half from the Fury goalkeeper, but in terms of what they're looking for in this second half, there needs to be a lot more energy and a lot more pace going forward, and they need some dangerous opportunities against this TFC2 side.
So those halftime highlights brought to you by Labatt. Here are the stats brought to you by Rico, making information work for Ottawa Fury FC. All the shots Ottawa's way, but the vast majority of possession TFC2's way, 70% for Toronto FC2. All 3 shots for Ottawa. Of course, the lone goal, a 16th minute penalty. I don't know. It seemed, you know what?
I was surprised.
Ottawa's been hosed so much in 5 years that I'm kind of surprised when they get a call, but I think they probably got a little bit fortunate, to be honest, on that penalty call.
Take the call. Certainly surprised it went in their favor, but again, Monconi and Shepard kind of get mixed up, and no one commits to taking that charge of that play. And it was certainly free reign for Oliveira to go in there and make an effort to get to it. I think he does get kind of his right boot to it before he and Shepard collide head-to-head, and thus resulting in that penalty kick, which was finished off by Steven DeSantos' second goal of the year. An advantage Fury FC that they really need to find that second goal early here in the second half. Take any question of a TFC comeback away.
So same 11 that finished the half, but different 11 to start the half for both sides because of those injuries to Drew Shepard with what looked like broken nose for TFC2, and Kevin Oliveira with the bump on the head and the stitches for Ottawa Fury FC. For Ottawa, it's Crépeau in goal, Obasi, Mayer, Jaguar, Adekora, and Edward at the back. Balbinati, Manella, and Dixon in midfield. Reed, DeSantos, and Howarth up top as Ottawa gets set for a corner here a minute into the second half. Catalano, the keeper for TFC2. The back four, Petrasso, Boscovich, Romeo, and Onconi. Then Uccello, Faria, Campbell, Serbal, Wyja, and Malik Johnson, the lone striker. Here's Carl Howarth with the right-footed in-swinger, and this is sent out for another Ottawa corner. Fury moving right to left in this second half in their black kits and red kit as well. Black shorts and black socks, all white away kit for TFC2 here today. How about I take the positive approach and say I like the name Swope Park Rangers. How about that?
Good, I like it. I like the name.
There's my glass half full approach, Graham. Rather than the glass half empty and ripping on names of Willoughby United B. Fury in possession. Good work by Adonijah Reed as DeSantos gets this in, and Balbinati with a shot, and that takes a deflection off Romeo and out for an Ottawa corner. So Fury, you could tell here early in the second half, really taking the initiative, a little more urgency in the opening couple of minutes as they look to build on this 1-0 advantage.
Yeah, certainly much more in command to start the opening 3 minutes of this half, and now their third corner, and once again delivered in by the captain.
It'll be a right-footed in-swinger, far corner flag, headed towards goal, and it's 2-0, Ottawa Fury FC. He was the man of the match in his Fury debut, and now he's got his first goal in black and red. Nana Atakora! 48th minute, 2-0 Fury.
Fantastic delivery by the Fury captain, Carl Haworth. And Atakora climbs up over everybody, heads that down and in. 2-0 Ottawa, fantastic finish. And again, great work by the Canadian international, Nana Atakora.
Wow, that's terrific stuff. Great delivery. And a perfect finish. No chance for Catalano. And Fury lead 2-0. And there's the that insurance marker they've been waiting for. Hey, when you've got 3 wins and 2 draws in the last 5, not complaining about too much. But you could just feel that it was coming, that they weren't going to have a 0-0 or a 1-0. And right now, Ottawa firmly in control of this match, up 2. It really does have a lot of, and you hate bringing things back up to the past, but it really does have a lot of similarities to the start in 2015 when Ottawa started poorly and they were out of the cup. I mean, Ottawa still hasn't played a cup match this year, but out of the cup, started slow in the league, and then they started to get results, but it was started at the back with a run of clean sheets. It was 6 clean sheets in a row. As this ball off the TFC2 corner goes off of Boscovich, the defender, but couldn't get much on it as it went towards goal and easily grabbed by Maxime Crépeau. But the run of 0-0s, some 1-0s in there, and eventually they started to score and went on a magical run that certainly this city's soccer supporters will never forget. And it kind of feels like they're building something special here once again here in Ottawa.
Yeah, you can certainly draw a lot of parallels, and that's the year that everyone kind of uses kind of their measuring stick for what they want as fans, as what they want to see from their team. And for the last 2 seasons, it's been, hey, we haven't measured up to what we did in 2015. And despite the concerns through the opening 5 games here, I think all those concerns have been erased over the last 5 and now into match number 6 on this impressive run of form for Fury FC.
Should mention our halftime interview was brought to you by Ross Video. As we enter the 52nd minute, and we're going to see a substitution for TFC2. Dante Campbell will make way for Sean Hundle, another Canadian under 20 international. So that's the second substitution for TFC2. As they push it across the back 3 on Coney. Who's this wide right, 52nd minute. Comes forward, Hundle, first touch just outside the penalty area. Atakora giving him no time, and now it's Dixon winning the ball, plays it forward, and the flag is down, but unfortunately Balbinati just couldn't take that clean. Now Reed trying to pick out Carl Haworth with a diagonal ball. Toronto FC2 gained possession though. They work it wide left. Here's Petrasso. Boscovich into the middle. Comes off a body to Atakora, but Wyja gets it back for Toronto FC2. Boscovich. And stepping forward, good challenge there by Mayer Jaguar. Worked wide right. Cross comes inside the 6-yard box, and Eddie Edward taking no chances as he heads it out for a TFC2 corner, far touchline.
A great defensive stalwart for Ottawa, and we know Eddie Edwards' ability to get forward, but not always credited for what he's able to do in his own end, and always responsible in defense, as we saw on that last play.
Low ball on the right-footed in-swinger. And now this is sent high and over the bar. That was Serbal, who was looking to put that on target. Should mention that you can keep up to date with all the best social media from around the league as Kelsey Steele hosts Off the Post. It's every Friday on the league's Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram feeds.
Also want to note that for the month of June, Fury FC captain Carl Howarth has partnered with Playing for Pride, a group looking to raise money and advocating for LGBTQ rights and equality through the sport of soccer. And for this month, $5 per game, $4 per assist, $6 per goal will be donated to Playing for Pride. And Fury supporters have gotten behind this initiative, as have some of the fans, in supporting Carl's efforts.
As TFC2 making a run down the left side, it's Malik Johnson. Pass into the middle. Open man, right-footed effort from Serbal. And Serbal just couldn't take that clean and put it high over the bar, but he was wide open about 20 yards out.
Well, probably the best opportunity that TFC has had in terms of a clean shot inside the penalty area. Serbal just couldn't hit it cleanly, and as we have a look at Laurent Guillot, the manager for TFC2, and his look of frustration on the spoiled opportunity.
Howarth playing this over the top. Balbinati going after it, and Romeo forced to get this back to his keeper, Catalano.
Good recovery from Romeo after a bad first touch. Could have played Balbinati in, but recovered nicely to play it back to Catalano.
TFC2 throws. It comes just inside the Ottawa half. Obasi quickly wins it for Ottawa. Here's Onwa Obasi. He's been a beast for Ottawa today. Moves this wide left, and now he draws a foul, Obasi. So free kick Fury about 40 yards out, left of center.
He was pulled the whole way through his run. And Adonijah Reed frustrated that advantage wasn't played, as he thought he was in a good position, but David Barry calls for the free kick, and Carl Howarth looks to take it quickly there. Can Adonijah Reed keep it in play?
He cannot. It will be a goal kick in the 57th minute for TFC2. 2-0, Ottawa Fury leading. If you're looking to see which teams are hitting their peak performance in the USL, find out every Monday when the USLsoccer.com power rankings are released to see where your team sits after its most recent results.
And an update on the out-of-town scoreboard. Indy 11 and Charleston Battery now tied at 1 apiece, as it's a former Fury FC defender in O'Brien Woodbine who scores the equalizer for the Charleston Battery. That's 1-1 through 65 minutes of play.
Pittsburgh and Nashville still scoreless in that one.
Still 0-0 between Pittsburgh and Nashville, and getting underway in a few minutes' time, St. Louis home to Phoenix. O'Brien Woodbine, had the pleasure of watching him play around after practice and kick a 60-yard field goal with room to spare. Guy's got a boot on him.
Tom Dempsey with the, or producer Mike Sutherland saying 63 yards as Adonijah Reed making a good run. Works it in, Balbinati a shot, and it stopped, and the rebound stopped as well. A couple of great saves here from in tight from Catalano, from preventing this from being a 3-0 scoreline. 32-19 the attendance here tonight, so better than 2,700, but still some work to go for Ottawa Fury, and I think it'll come with these recent results. This run could get extended to 6 matches with 4 wins and 2 draws. That'll certainly help build interest in the city.
Was talking earlier about the ability for a player to go 1v1. Well, Adonijah Reed did some great work in the box, and when he felt the pressure was coming and an option wasn't there, slotted it over to Balbinati, stopped by Catalano, and then from his backside, Reed almost puts home the rebound, if not for another stellar save from the TFC2 keeper to keep the deficit at 2-0.
Yeah, as I was mentioning, 63 yards is the record from Tom Dempsey.
Chip shot.
He had like a club foot, too. '59th minute, 2-0 Ottawa Fury. And here comes Ottawa again as they're really pushing the pace here, and they draw a free kick, edge of the areas. It's Manella who's dumped about a couple of yards, or maybe a couple of feet, outside the 18-yard box, and a yellow card to boot. This is the first yellow to come out here today. And it's Rocco Romeo who's booked for TFC2. So this will be a little bit left of center. Carl Howarth scored from similar distance on a free kick like this, left of center earlier this year. We'll see if he's got some magic in his right boot on this 60th minute free kick as the referee spray paints the line for the TFC2 wall to stand behind. Here we go. Free kick, Carl Howarth, 60th minute. Right-footed effort into the wall. Flicked on by Dixon. Goes wide right. Here's DeSantos with the cross. Back post. And it's chipped out of touch for an Ottawa corner. Near touchline. And this will be a right-footed in-swinger for Carl Howarth. Of course, he's delivered an assist already on a goal from a corner. Headed in from close range by Nada Adekora, his first goal for Ottawa Fury in the 48th minute. This in the 61st minute. Delivery from Howarth and punched out by Catalano. As TFC2 will look to catch Ottawa on the break. Ball forward, and look at the hustle here from Jamar Dixon getting back, and with time to spare, he'll shepherd this out for an Ottawa goal kick. Let's head down for a pitch side update. Here is Tyler McDonald.
Thank you very much, AJ. And a couple of notes and instructions coming from both benches here. Start off the second half. First off for TFC2, Laurent Guillot looking for his players to try to work the wide side a little more when they're trying to attack Ottawa Fury's back four in terms of Fury FC. Looking to stay structured in the midfield in terms of their lines, as well as apply lots of pressure on the back four of Toronto FC to cause those turnovers, to make the defenders rush a decision and try to break on the counter. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Tyler. 62nd minute and a free kick here for Ottawa inside the TFC2 half, and they just play it back. Comes to Adonijah Reed. 3 white shirts on him, and eventually TFC2 in possession. A reminder that the Canadian Championship returns to Ottawa this summer as Fury compete in the qualifying rounds. And then if they can win the qualifying rounds in the semifinal against Toronto FC, to get your pack, visit OttawaFuryFC.com. Once again, I'm not looking past those qualifying rounds, Graham Ivory. I've seen enough cup matches from the Rochdales of the world to know that anything could happen. Just like if they get to play TFC2 again, anything can happen. '63rd minute, 2-0 Ottawa. And Crépeau will send this into the air, into the TFC2 half. Are you taking those matches for granted,
Nope.
Graham Ivory? Okay.
I don't subscribe to that, AJ.
Okay, I just wanted to double check because there's a lot of silence coming from that corner.
No, I'm putting together a very interesting stat. You just gotta give me a little more time here.
Okay. Foul here by Carl Howarth, trying to win the ball just inside his own half. TFC2 with a free kick, taken quickly by Wija. They work it to the far side. It's on Coney. Romeo. Now Wija. Korea, it's back out and the ball over the top for Petrasso. Lays it off and it's Atakora. Good position. Ex-TFC player. Able to clear it.
So that goal for Fury defender Nana Atakora that made this game 2-0 in the 48th minute. His first goal since the 8th of May in 2016 when he was a member of the Fort Lauderdale Strikers. That one coming in a 3-1 win over the then named Carolina Railhawks, now North Carolina FC. And that represents a difference of 3,492 minutes between goals for the Canadian international defender.
Certainly when you watched him take it from short range, looked like it was a regular goal scorer.
No, well, look, you have a big body presence and you have that experience because even though TFC does have side with Boskovic at 6'3" and Romeo at 6'4",
and this is cleared away. It's Atakora doing things at the defensive end. Petrasso wins a corner for TFC2. This in the 66th minute. It'll be a left-footed outswinger. Petrasso delivers, and right into the arms of Crépeau.
Yeah, no problem for Maxime Crépeau on the play there. And just back to the last point, Boskovic 6'3", Romeo 6'4", but you look at the age, both 18 years of age, and the years and games of experience, no contest to that of the much more experienced Nana Atakora, and well positioned to get that goal.
Flag is up, and now we've got a substitution. Tony Taylor's going to come on for Ottawa Fury FC as he replaces Adonai Jareed, so both teams with one substitute left. Panamanian international in for Ottawa. Big Wayne Gretzky fan. You know, he grew up in Panama thinking, I want to be the next Wayne Gretzky.
You're funny, aren't you?
So off comes Reed and on comes Taylor, who's got a wealth of experience. Played in MLS with New England and NYCFC. 3 caps for Panama. And of course, they're going to their first World Cup in Russia.
Should mention, we haven't even got a chance to talk about it yet. Last night, Haiti fell 4-0 in a friendly against Argentina that saw Fury FC forward Jimmy Sano start for his native Haiti and play against one Lionel Messi, and following the match was the lucky one to get Messi's jersey.
Yeah, that's kind of the most important thing is after the match, you got to be the first one to, because I'm sure he wasn't the only one who went up to him.
So in talking with Fury general manager Julian de Guzman, because he has a pretty impressive collection of jerseys from his international days, and I said, like, how does this happen? Like, naturally, when you're playing against the likes of a player like Messi or Ronaldo or Ronaldinho, you're gonna like hunt that guy down. He's gonna be swarmed after the game.
And you need 2 shirts for Ronaldinho.
Yeah. But listen, so he said, look, he's like, when you come on the field, he's like, you ask at the earliest point that you can, and then it's settled and done with. You focus on the game. You don't worry about anything else after that.
No, that's basically how you get Ronaldinho's shirt. You bring 2 shirts because he demands, hey, I get it. You want my shirt. I need 2 because I have 2 women at home. The civil union.
You're going on that again.
The civil union with 2 women. Hey, no, that's. I'm not making a joke here. It's having a civil union with two women at the same time. So that's how Ronaldinho decides who gets his shirt. I want 2. I've got 2 women to please at home.
I'm detecting a vast amount of jealousy right now.
There's no jealousy at all. Trust me, there's no. Don't get me wrong. I would have loved to have been able to chip David Seaman in the 2002 World Cup and having that type of skill for sure. But if you're saying that I would like to have, like, how about I focus on trying to work 1 in, okay? Like before we start working 2 in.
Yes, please, please. But speaking of skill, Brandon Allen has scored for Nashville in the 69th minute. They're now in the 73rd in Pittsburgh with Nashville leading by a 1-0 score. Still 1-1 between Indy and Charleston in Indianapolis. They've played 77 minutes and 0-0 through 4 minutes in St. Louis as St. Louis FC hosts Didier Drogba and Phoenix Rising FC.
There will be a substitution, the 3rd and final one for TFC2 as Stefan Yates is waiting pitch side, just waiting to come on for Matthew Serbol in midfield. Oh, good ball inside the 18-yard box, and looked like Crépeau just got a piece of it to nudge it away from Sean Hundle, who got in behind the Ottawa defense. No, he just went off Hundle and out.
Wow.
And
great touch. Great touch by Maxime Crépeau. And you know what? Sometimes when it's going good for you, it's good to be lucky and lucky to be good. And I think we're seeing a lot of that right now for Ottawa Fury FC and Maxime Crépeau on the defensive side of their game.
So we're going to see one last sub for Ottawa. Getting ready to come on for Fury is Azaki Lubayera. As Gabriel Balbinati getting some treatment, maybe cramping up. These will be the 3rd and final subs for both sides, and it will be Balbinati coming off, who entered the proceedings in the 16th minute off that injury to, a little bit later than that, off the injury to Oliveira, but now he's forced to come off in favor of Lubayera. So Balbinati will limp off, and Lubayera, the Uganda under-20 international, will replace him. Balbinati frustrated as he comes off. Oh, I'm corrected by one Steve Warren. Matt Prater kicked a 64-yarder 5 years ago.
I've lost all faith in everything he says the rest of this broadcast.
Well, I guess if that's the way it's going to be, I think you're going to have to speak the rest of the broadcast.
Hey, now we're talking. We got a show. Thank you, Warnsey.
Don't forget, Saturday night, Ottawa Fury FC hosting Charlotte. Will they be going for their 7th straight match unbeaten? Will they be going for 7 straight clean sheets? We'll wait and see. Still
got to close out number 6, which would tie the club record set by the team and goalkeeper Romuald Pezaire in that 2015 season.
Yeah, 17 minutes plus left in this one. But Ottawa in good shape, up 2-0. TFC with the ball, halfway line. As it's played back to Romeo by Wyja, who gets it back, moves it wide right. Comes back to Wyja. Lays it off, ball into the middle, over the head of Hundle and headed clear. Now it's Uccello. He'll play it wide right. Uccello. Yates. And it'll be a TFC2 throw. This is one of those matches where I know it was 70% possession in the first half for TFC2, but that's where you like to see scoring chances. I like to see the old Football Manager stat where it tells me how many completed passes I have in the final third. It's one thing to complete a bunch of passes in your own half. How many balls are you completing in the final third? That's where you really know if you're a Football Manager king or not.
Well, you know, possession with a purpose, and you could have 90% possession, but if you're not creating opportunities and getting into that attacking third, sometimes it can be all for naught. But on the topic of teams that are doing something with their possession, Charleston Battery have now taken the lead on Indy 11 through Atula Guerra in the 80th minute. They're now in the 83rd, so 2-1 Charleston leading there, and Phoenix Rising have taken an early lead.
Yes, so we'll get to that in a moment. Ottawa looking to attack. On the far side, it's Luboyera. Now with the ball in, comes to Howarth. Couldn't get it down for a shot. Dixon battling for it, middle of the park, and he wins it, and Dixon gets it back to Adekora.
I don't have the goal scorer yet for Phoenix, but I do know that they have taken that 1-0 lead over St. Louis.
And with Nashville leading 1-0 over Pittsburgh, right now Ottawa sits 9th in the table as they would pass Bethlehem and Indy. If Indy can't get a point tonight at home to Charleston, but Nashville would stay ahead of them and move into a tie for 6th with Tampa Bay. Sorry, a tie for 7th with Tampa Bay. TFC2 making a run towards the byline. Ball goes off Adekora, and it's cleared away by Obasi as it comes to Luboyera. Ball towards Tony Taylor. He makes a run inside the Toronto FC2 half. Taylor trying to get it into the middle. And finally it's cleared away to the far side as it comes to Romeo.
Well, tonight is match number 11, AJ, and 14 goals against for Ottawa, and albeit nothing conceded in the last 5 matches, but
ball over the top, chested down, and Eddie Edward forced to play this out for a corner as Hundle just couldn't take that clean off the ball from Faria.
And if you look at the 14 goals that they've conceded, 12 of those goals came in 3 matches. That season opener loss in Charlotte 4-1, 5-0 at Tampa, and then 3-0 here at TD Place against Cincinnati.
Here's Uccello, right-footed in-swinger on the corner, punched out, but not outside the penalty area from Crépeau, but it comes back to him inside the 6-yard box, and Maxime Crépeau able to, as he basically talks some strategy inside the 18-yard box with Eddie Edward, able to make sure that nothing of danger happens. And Ottawa still up 2-0, 78th minute. So the flag is up for offside against Ottawa Fury. Tony Taylor in there.
Just like that, Indy 11 have pulled things level at home. It's now 2-2.
DeSantos out of Lubiera. Ball forward, and two Ottawa players making a run for it, and now it's DeSantos with a shot, and Steven DeSantos lets that rip just inside the post as he hammers it past the keeper, Catalano. What a strike. Second of the night from DeSantos. 3-0 Ottawa Fury.
Well, that's what you want to see from the big man up top and the guy who led the team in scoring last year. That's a goal scorer's goal right there. DeSantos using his frame, and a fantastic effort from the man from Cape Verde at the top of the 18-yard box, and picks out the back corner with a low drive. And that's experience right there by Steven DeSantos. Two similar big guys in the 6'4" DeSantos and 6'3" Robert Baskovich. But DeSantos wins out with a fantastic finish at the back post. And now Ottawa flexing their offensive muscle with a 3-0 lead.
Well, this is what we expected, and this is what we've been waiting for. The breakthrough offensively for Ottawa Fury FC. And here they come on the break again, and DeSantos is held. That's got to be a card. So we've got yellow card coming here to Robert Baskovich. And that's one of those where it's a good yellow card from Boskovich's point of view, because if he doesn't hold DeSantos back, it's another break for Ottawa Fury, and maybe we're talking about a 4-0 match. We're at the 80-minute mark, and it's 3-0, Ottawa Fury FC leading. Toronto FC 2. Let's head down for a pitch side update. Here is Tyler McDonald.
Thank you very much, AJ, and just going to send it back to you on a quick Fury FC break.
And here's an opportunity there for Carl Howarth cutting inside. Ball got away from him inside the 18. And this will go out now for a TFC2 throw. All right.
Didn't want you to miss any action there, AJ. First off, just off the goal there, really it's been all broken down to Coach Nikola Popovich, him preaching the pressure on the back four of Toronto FC2, and it was all started by Tony Taylor there, and that's what led to the Fury FC goal.
DeSantos with a ball, Taylor, and just fluffed his lines a little bit as he falls, and I don't even know what fluffed his lines means, but I see that all the time in English broadcasting, and that's basically what they say if something like that happens. So I'm just going to go with fluffed his lines. What?
You better hope that doesn't mean something really bad.
I know it doesn't mean anything bad. We'll get Gordon Smith on the.
Don't worry, he'll clean things up
on the Facebook show afterwards. Facebook Live post-match show, and he'll explain exactly what fluffed his lines means. And somehow, I'm sure, it will make sense to somebody. Probably somebody from the British Isles.
Yeah, that's going to be a hot take right there. That'll be my lead question to him tonight. Come on.
Got an injury here with an Ottawa player down in the 83rd minute. Is that Azaki Lubiera? It looks like it.
Yeah, and you can only hope. And he's had some problems with his shoulder dislocating, and given the amount of pain he's looking in right now and tending to that left arm, you hope that's not something that's repeated itself again. And
well, he's up and walking off towards the touch line. We'll continue to get some treatment there. Again, both teams out of their full complement of subs. TFC2 plays it back to Ottawa. Nice sportsmanlike gesture after the injury to Lubiera, still receiving treatment on the side. Launched into the TFC2 half. Well, what do we expect from Charlotte? Graham Ivory on Saturday, a team that currently sits 5th in the table on 17 points through 10 matches.
Yeah, coming off a 3-1 win over the weekend over the Richmond Kickers. Look, this is a side that very interesting. Good start to the season, and then they kind of went through a bit of a lull there for a period of time. But it's a team that knows how to score goals. But the big storyline, I think, for me is that's not how Fury FC wanted to open the season, that 4-1 defeat. And I don't think it was a 4-1 game either.
Flag is up for offside as Faria got in behind the Ottawa defense, but didn't time his run well enough.
And for me, this is going to be the biggest test of these 3 matches in the homestand for Ottawa. But certainly a game where Fury FC want to say, hey, look, what happened in that game, that was a fluke. We weren't where we wanted to be. This is the club we are now. And I think Saturday's match against Charlotte is going to be a statement game for Fury FC. When we talked about this 3-game homestand, no question you wanted to claim all 9 points. And what they've done through 2 games have given themselves the opportunity to do that. I think you would certainly be pleased if you could get 7 of 9, but now with the confidence building in this side, they'll certainly go for all 9 points on Saturday night.
And for Ottawa, again, to me, it's not about, and again, hey, you want to get into the postseason first, but this is a team that you might be battling for, not just to get into the postseason, but I think it's important from a club standpoint. Boy, it'd be nice to get at least one playoff game at home. You can build some interest, build some momentum that way, and that means top 4, and I don't think that is out of the question. A win tonight for Ottawa, and all of a sudden you're just 3 points out of 4th if Pittsburgh can't get a point at home against Nashville.
That game in the 89th minute remains 1-0 for Nashville, but a wild stoppage time in Indianapolis. It was 2-2 heading into stoppage time. Indy went up 3-2, and Charleston has just pulled level at 3-3. They are still in stoppage time.
Well, the one thing about USL is it's very competitive throughout, and there's not going to be a lot of points separating all the playoff sides. So
no,
every match is going to be difficult. It's going to be tightly contested, and there's not going to be too many easy X's on the bingo card, and that's why when you play a team like TFC2, with all due respect, with their 2 points in now 12 matches, you've got to take advantage when you can.
Yep, no question. And too often last year it was some of those sides, and the sides that, like Ottawa, were outside of the playoff picture that they didn't gain full points against that they needed to. And from what we've seen in this run of form right now, that is not going to be a point of concern for this club. And Nikola Popovic, I think, going to be very pleased with his team's performance here tonight. Grinding things out in that first half, looking a lot more dominant and in control here in this second half. And doing so without the composure of Christian Portier in the midfield, and how dynamic Kevin Oliveira makes this Ottawa midfield look.
Adekora with a header off the cross from the boot of Yates. TFC2 in possession, 88th minute. It's 3-0 Ottawa. 2 goals from Steven DeSantos from the spot in the 16th minute, and then a rifle in the 79th after Nana Adekora Headed down the Carl Howarth delivery off a corner in the 48th minute. Fury back in possession here. Obasi plays it off the TFC2 player, and it will be a goal kick in the 89th minute for Ottawa, up 3-0.
And the one thing that Nikola Popovic wants to do with this system is create an environment that it's not based on the player, it's based on the system. So whomever you put in that role, they've trained in that environment, so it's not going to be a problem. And I think we're starting to see that happen when you're seeing guys substitute in, what we've seen from Thomas Meyer-Giguère coming into that role. And much like when we talked to...
Here's Howarth. We'll get to that in a moment. Now to Taylor just inside the penalty area. Left-footed drive, and that goes right on. Stopped here by Catalano as Ottawa pressing to make it 4.
And when we've talked to the head coaches for Atlanta United and Bethlehem Steel and talk about what that environment is like as a direct affiliate of an MLS club, direct reserve team, and how they're modeling the system of the big club, and so that how players can move up and down, and it's like for like because you're training within that same model of play. Well, I think we're starting to see that with the depth of this squad, that anyone can move in and out of those roles, and it doesn't affect the balance of how this team can compete.
Reminder that Canada's men's national volleyball team comes to TD Place with matches June 8th to 10th against Germany, Australia, and the United States. It's the Volleyball Nations League. Check out tdplace.ca for all the info.
Hey, remember how I talked about foreshadowing earlier?
Yes.
How many offsides are we at now?
7, but
there
there's probably
go.
Actually 9. Here's a right-footed effort, and a pretty good one from just outside the 18-yard box. TFC's Malik Johnson with an effort that misses high. Goal kick Ottawa, 90th minute, and we'll find out stoppage time here shortly.
This man could stand on the moon and claim he wasn't standing on the moon. You know what I mean? Like, he'll oppose everything to the last second.
3 minutes of stoppage time, a minimum of 3 minutes to be played here at TD Place. A little late on alternate programming tonight on TSN 1200. Here's another effort from distance, and wow, that didn't miss by much. Looking for the hat trick, Steven DeSantos. I think we know who our man of the match is going to be. Speaking of foreshadowing.
Whew, he put his boot through that one and did not miss by much. Great setup from Azake Luboyera. Timed the pass perfectly. And you're going to have your hands full on Saturday, my friend, because for the first time in my life, I'm going to miss a Fury FC home match. So it's you and Gordon Smith.
I thought you were going to say for the first time since Clint Irwin manned the Capital City FC goal, it will be AJ Jakubek and Gordon Smith on a soccer broadcast.
Yeah, geez, there's a throwback. Here's producer Mike. We got to find that footage for our broadcast.
Luboyera wins a throw for Ottawa. We're a couple minutes into stoppage time.
The young and dashing Aaron John Jakubek. Yeah. Nothing.
Here's Luboyera again. Just inside the penalty area. Sent towards Howarth, headed towards goal, and just over the bar as Carl Howarth looking for the late exclamation mark on this victory over TFC2. Right now 3-0 in stoppage time. Just inches away from 4-0 right there. Dixon. Back to Meyer-Giguère. Now Obasi to Crépeau. TFC2 looking to spoil the proceedings for Ottawa, but not happening on Chris Manella's watch as he wins that ball in midfield. This ball played forward for Taylor by Luboyera. Sent back to the keeper, Catalano. And he'll play it wide to his right. Should find out any moment that This one is done. But Ottawa certainly wanted to keep one streak alive. We know one streak is definitely staying alive here tonight, and that's 6 matches unbeaten. TFC 2 in possession, 30 yards out. Comes to Wyja. He'll play it wide right. The ball inside the penalty area and scooped up here by Crépeau, and that should be the last opportunity for Toronto FC 2 here tonight.
Yeah, once again, Maxime Crépeau not troubled very often this evening and always well positioned and does a fantastic job of coming out to claim those crosses.
And there it is, the final whistle. It's 6 matches unbeaten, 4 wins, 2 draws. It's 6 consecutive clean sheets for Ottawa Fury FC. 2 goals from Steven DeSantos. 1 from Nana Adekora, his first for the club. Another clean sheet for Maxime Crépeau. And Ottawa Fury FC, 3 valuable points as they continue their tremendous run. May, what a terrific month for Ottawa here in 2018.
Yeah, no question, AJ, and this is a team that is growing in confidence, and you could see that through the course of 90 minutes tonight. And a big shutout again for Maxime Crépeau. 6 straight, that ties a club record. 553 straight minutes of shutout soccer, 95 minutes behind the record set by that club in 2015.
Back with more in a moment. 3-0 the final. Ottawa Fury FC wins. This is Ottawa Fury FC Soccer.
Gabriel Pizza, proud supporter of local sports. Gabriel Pizza, home of the bigger, better pizza. 310-7777 or GabrielPizza.com.
Did you know the Brick is 100% proudly Canadian? We employ over 5,000 Canadians, and nobody knows more about furnishing Canadian homes at the guaranteed lowest price than us. Saving you more. It's not just a slogan. Saving you more is our obsession.
What do you live for? Is it for your crew? For overcoming obstacles? Live for what you want. So what do you live for?
And welcome back inside TD Place. Ottawa Fury FC on a scorching evening. It hit 31 degrees for kickoff. And Ottawa 3-0 winners over TFC 2 this evening. AJ Jakubik, Graham Ivory with you. And terrific performance start to finish for Ottawa on this one to earn another 3 points.
The heat of tonight, these suits are going to the cleaners. And Ottawa Fury FC took TFC 2 to the cleaners tonight. That was another dominant performance. Say what you will about the amount of possession that TFC2 had. Didn't do much with what they had. A very controlled game for Ottawa. And just how the game started with the injury to Kevin Oliveira and how everything went down and kind of could have changed the game. But this is a team that has now learned how to win a game and how to finish a game off, and a very impressive performance over the course of 90 minutes.
Our man of the match for the Ottawa Citizen tonight, it's the 2-goal man, Steven DeSantos.
Look, this is a guy who led the team in scoring last year, and if Ottawa is going to find success this season, this man needs to find the back of the net on a consistent basis. 2 goals tonight, fantastic effort from the man from Cape Verde, and if you look at his career historically, this is a guy who really comes on in the second half of the season, and that's what we saw last year in DeSantos' first season with Ottawa Fury FC. And the challenge for Nikola Popovic and company this season is to get DeSantos going early. Again, learning that new system, you look at that second goal, that was a clinical finish. And when you see the excitement into Santos' celebration. That tells you that he's plugged in, he's dialed in, he's ready to go. And that was a huge goal and a huge 3 points tonight for Ottawa.
Let's have a look at our next broadcast, and it comes to you on Saturday night as Ottawa Fury FC welcomes the Charlotte Independents to town. And then they've got matches against North Carolina and Atlanta United, 2 after that. So look forward to the match on Saturday night right here from TD Place, and we'll have it on TSN 1200 as well, as Ottawa looks to keep their unbeaten run going and their shutout string going as they look to push that to 7 matches. All right, on behalf of our entire crew, for Graham Ivory, our producer Mike Sutherland, Gordon Smith, Tyler McDonald, and our entire crew, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Final score again, it's Ottawa Fury FC 3, Toronto FC 2, 0. This has been Ottawa Fury FC Soccer.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League may not be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent of the United Soccer League.